Casting on a 2-color iCord edging. The provisional cast on. We start with the 3-stitch provisional cast on. Using the waste yarn, create a slip knot. Slip it onto a crochet hook roughly the same size as your knitting needle. I'm using a hook 2 sizes smaller. Slip the waste yarn under the knitting needle. With the crochet hook, go over the needle, yarn over, and bring the yarn through the stitch on the hook. Repeat. Yarn under the needle, yarn over with the crochet hook and through the stitch on the hook. You are creating a crochet chain over the knitting needle. Do this a total of 3 times. Then chain a few stitches, just a yarn over and through the stitch of the hook. Finish by pulling the end of the yarn through the last stitch to prevent the chain from pulling out. Using both strands of yarn, knit these 3 stitches, leaving a tail to weave in. Slip these 3 stitches back to the left needle. Row 1. Knit the first stitch with both strands of yarn. Now we need to separate the strands on the left needle so that the main color strands are in positions 1 and 2 and the contrast color are in positions 3 and 4. With the tip of the right needle, pick up those main color stitches and pull the left needle out of those stitches. Put the left needle tip back into the back of the contrast color stitches and slip the main color stitches back onto the left needle. Knit the first 2 stitches with the main color. Bring the contrast color up from under the main color to interlock the stitches and knit 2 with the contrast color. Slip the 4 single stitches back to the left needle. Row 2. Do a make one left. Lift the strand in between the 2 strand stitch and the first single strand stitch up onto the left needle and knit through the back loop. Then knit each strand with the same color . Interlocking the yarns between the colors. Slip the 4 single stitches back to the left needle. Row 3. With both strands, knit into the bar between the 2 strand stitch on the right needle and the first stitch on the left needle. You may have to dig a little to find it. Knit 2 with the main color. Make sure the stitches are interlocked and knit 2 with the contrast color. Slip the 4 single strand stitches back to the left needle. There will be 3 2-strand stitches remaining on the right needle. Repeat this until you have 20 2-strand stitches on the right needle. If you are finding it awkward to knit into that strand in between the stitches, you can lift the strand onto the left needle and then knit into it. Alternatively, you can use a crochet hook to pick up that double strand stitch. When you have 20 2-strand stitches on the right needle, move on to rows 21 to 23, where you are only working the 4 single strand stitches. Knit 2 with the main color and knit 2 with the contrast color. Then slip the 4 stitches back to the left needle and repeat for rows 22 and 23. Remember to interlock the stitches between each color change. After moving the 4 stitches to the left needle on row 23, take the working yarn in between the 2 needles and slip the 4 single stitches as if purling through the back. push the stitches to the tip of the left needle and hold them there. Then insert the right needle through the back and slip. Now there are 20 two-strand stitches. The yarn comes to the front. There are 2 contrast stitches and 2 main color stitches on the right needle. Turn your work. Knit 2 with the main color, knit 2 with the contrast color, checking to make sure that you interlock your stitches. Now knit 20 stitches with both strands. Removing the provisional cast on. Bring the working yarn to the front, remove the waste yarn. First, pull out the bump on the bottom of the last chain stitch. This was preventing the chain from unraveling as you work. Then pull on that end of yarn to unzip the stitches. First, you will come to the yarn end. Just move that to the same place as your working yarn. Put the tip of the right needle into the next cast on stitch and then pull out the waste yarn chain. Slip the next stitch onto the right needle and pull the waste yarn out completely. Snug up the ends and turn your work. Rearrange the first 4 stitches so that the 2 contrast strands are in positions 1 and 2 on the left needle, and the main color strands are in positions 3 and 4. Put the tip of the right needle into the 2 contrast strands, slip the left needle out, slip the left needle back into the main color stitches and slip the 2 contrast color stitches back onto the left needle. Now the stitches are arranged in the correct order with the contrast strands in position 1 and 2 and the main color strands in positions 3 and 4. Pull the ends taut. Knit 2 stitches with the contrast color, interlace and knit 2 with the main color. Move the 4 single stitches back to the left needle. Interlock the stitches, knit 2 with the contrast, interlock and knit 2 with the main color. Repeat for row 27.